Hello and welcome to Brit Vision, your fresh face in the media. Now, this is a live to explain what has happened in the aftermath of the local elections. Now, a lot has gone on in the local elections, and I very much love to hear your opinions about it. So, we do want to hear from you. Yes, you. And this is exactly how you can do it. So you can get in touch with your opinions on Instagram at BritVision Media, get in Twitter or X at All Politics, and the live stream chat at the side is welcome for everybody. Put your views in, we will read them out and we will discuss them. So, the local election aftermath. Well, what can we say? First of all, massive losses for the Tories. Now, the Tories have been absolutely obliterated on all sides by these local elections, whether it is from the Labour Party, whether it's from the Green Party, or whether it's from Reform. Now, although Reform haven't had many seats in these local elections, what has happened with Reform is that they have essentially surged in the amount of people that are voting for them. They've also had a level of concentration on these local elections than they did in previous local elections, which means that people have actually looked on the ballot paper and gone, Reform are there, I can vote for them, which is brilliant. And I think Reform also did unseat a Tory council leader in one of the elections, which I think was a big success for Reform. Now, Reform UK have said on their official X or Twitter, as it used to be known, breaking news: Reform make major breakthrough in Havant, unseating the Tory council leader, and Sharon Collins was elected for Reform UK and unseated the Tory council leader in Havant, which I think is brilliant. This is showing exactly what the Tories need. They need a kick up the backside, and so does Labour. Really, Labour have been unseated in the northeast, in like Sunderland and Hartlepool. They were getting unseated by the Green Party, which wasn't expected. We'll talk about how they're dividing the Labour left vote, which is extremely important. There's also been a lot of independent councillors taking hold, or Workers' Party of Britain as well. They've had a couple of councillors, and that was on the basis of the whole Labour stance on the Israel-Palestine situation. So there's definitely been a lot to dissect about it. There's been some interesting results. The Women's Equality Party managed to unseat I think it was a Conservative councillor, which they've got a council seat now, which they're a new party, they're out there, so yeah, absolutely brilliant. I think what we need to understand is that although Labour are surging in the polls for the next general election as well as the Conservatives, you have this more of a battering from all sides, really, which could, especially in the Gaza situation, be something that from the Labour left point of view could be very damaging, especially if George Galloway wants to stand his Workers' Party of Britain candidates against Labour, which would be a massive defeat for some Labour MPs. Coming up next, we will be talking about the Greens dividing the Labour left vote. But what I want to focus on now is Reform. Now, Reform have had a brilliant gain in this. In Sunderland, I think their highest rate, they came second in a seat in Sunderland, and they got 32% of the votes. 32%. Now, this is massive. They're beating the Conservative quite a lot of seats, and although they haven't won very many seats, they won that one where they unseated the Tory council leader in Havant. They're absolutely brilliant that a new political party has come to the forefront. It is excellent. I think what needs to happen now is Reform will obviously need to regroup and go, oh, actually, we need more candidates to field more areas. And I think once they start doing that, and once they start getting the brand of Reform UK known to everybody, then it will absolutely be a force to be reckoned with. And I think, it could even obliterate the Tory parties, if I were to repeat the words of Ben Habib, obliterate the Tories. Which personally, that is my ideological match, is Reform UK. And if for them to obliterate the Tories would be excellent. We have had a comment from Saad. I'll show it on the screen. Who says, "Can I join?" Absolutely. You can, of course, you can join. We are here for you. We are here to represent you. So we love to have your views, and we'll of course read them out. And that there is proof that I will read your views out. The fact that yeah, it's on the screen there for everyone to read. Thank you for joining the stream. It's very important. So thank you for joining and commenting. Next up, we will be talking about what we'll be talking about next. We will be talking about the Greens dividing the Labour left vote, so the very sort of lefty Labour vote. That will be coming up next on BritVision, so don't go anywhere. We're just going to take a short break now, and we will be back in a moment. Hello and welcome to Brit Vision, your fresh face in the media. Now, time check is 11:26 on the 3rd of May 2024. So, yesterday was, of course, the local elections. The 2nd of May was the local elections, and some very significant and also interesting things did occur. And here is what I'm talking about next. The Green Party were dividing the Labour left votes. So, essentially, what was happening was that the Labour sort of very left areas, the strongholds, were being taken by the Greens, which was very, very interesting to see and obviously watch unfold, because Labour obviously are getting ready for a general election, a successful general election, if the polls are anything to go by. So therefore, it was very interesting to see that the left of the Labour vote were going to Greens, especially in the north as well, that are typically more common sense type areas where we look in industrial past, etc. So it was quite interesting. But what we have here is a Labour Party that has obviously wanted to appeal to the masses, and they have appealed to the masses by looking to move away from the sort of very lefty ideas and more into the central or even centre right values. If you look at the way the policies have been put in place, obviously Rachel Reeves and Keir Starmer are looking to be more centre right. I think to appeal to most centrists, because obviously not everyone's into this ridiculous idea of massive taxes, and they want a party that's pro-business, that's going to support them in lowering taxes. And I think Keir Starmer and Rachel Reeves have had a proactive approach in trying to make sure that they look competent and ready to take over government, which I think is very, very good when we look at the preparation for the next election compared to Conservatives. And saying, we're not Labour. Vote for us, we're not Labour. That's all the Conservatives have got for you. And of course, the Rwanda bill looked pretty good, but after the local elections, I don't think anybody particularly cares about the Rwanda bill, because it's just spilled out so much money, spilled out because of the Rwanda bill. So yeah, it's definitely a rather interesting situation, I think. What I did forget to remind you, though, was that we want to hear from you. We want to hear from you. And there are a number of ways that you can talk to us. You could talk to us on Instagram at BritVision Media. Put that into Instagram as it says on your screen, and you will find us. Blue logo. Twitter and X at Ollie Politics. And also, if you want to just put something in the live stream chat, I can see that in front of my eyes. I've got my phone for the other outlets too. Let's see if there's anything on there. We do have a comment actually. So we had, who did we have earlier? We had, was it Sard earlier? Yep. Sard earlier said, can he join? Of course he can join. And we also have, who is it? Christine. Christine says, it's amazing to see a Reform councillor unseat the council leader, right? So essentially, what she's saying is she's happy to see the Reform candidate unseat the council leader. I think that's what she's saying. Yes, yes. Yeah, it was worded rather badly, but we've got there in the end. Let me just see if there are any more election news, because obviously it's very important. So if you don't know what Christine was referring to in that message, she was referring to Sharon Collins from the Reform Party, who unseated the Tory council leader in Havant, which is very, very important news. Is there another what's Reform put? Congratulations to Victoria Rhodes, who has been elected to Haven Borough Council, representing the ward of Lee Park, Hermitage. Victoria proudly becomes the first elected Reform UK councillor at a set of local elections. So this was before the council leader. So we have 2 female Reform UK councillors. So that is brilliant. For them, they're moving up in the world. So obviously we've just talked about the Greens have had in the Labour vote. We've talked about Reform strengthening. Now Reform are strengthening a lot, and Richard Tice has said that Reform are now the genuine opposition to the Conservative Party. They are the only opposition. Conservatives aren't the opposition to the Labour Party no more, and Reform is that opposition. The way that things have been going for the Conservatives, I would certainly say so. I would certainly say there's some truth to that. The Conservatives have been woeful in all that all that's been going on. You've had people leaving the Conservative Party in their droves to go to Reform, and yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? Lifelong Tories have now left that party because they're so ridiculously bad. It just beggars belief that they are still digging in this pit. They're still scrabbling around trying, but they're not helping themselves. They're digging the hole deeper, and it's proven in these elections. What have we got next? Well, what we have got next is the London mayor election rumours. Now, there are a number of rumours. There is a suggestion that Susan Hall could be on the cusp of winning. Just rumours at the moment, but there are rumours going around that Susan Hall could get Sadiq Khan out due to low turnout, which would be very, very important indeed to get Sadiq out. We want Sadiq out. So coming up next is the the London mayor election rumours. We will just take another quick short break, and hopefully you'll get some of your views in as well. We won't be a moment. We'll see you just in just a second. Hello and welcome back to BritVision, your fresh face in the media. Now, here is what we have got. We have got the London mayoral election rumours. Now, what is going on is that Susan Hall, there are rumours that she could beat Sadiq Khan. She could beat Sadiq Khan. Wow. The polls showed her 10% behind Khan in the polls. 10%, and she could win. If rumors are true. Now might be due to a low turnout. It could also be due to certain ethnic groups hating Sadiq Khan, because of his apparent, he's thrown them under a bus, quite a lot of these groups, especially if you're one of these people who are a taxi driver, who are a delivery driver. Sadiq Khan, no word of a lie, has thrown those people under the bus. And, what does he expect? Does he expect people to carry on voting for him? Even though knife crime is rampant, even though, violence in London, robbery, all of these different, they're up. They're up in numbers. And then he puts ULEZ in. London is a constant stream of traffic, even at like 4 or 5 in the morning when people are, or 2 in the morning. Why is it in such a way? And because Sadiq has essentially destroyed London's transport system, by being an ignorant man, essentially. There is no way to describe it. So that could be massive for the Conservatives. Also, in terms of mayoral election news, Ben Houchen, Teesside mayor, he managed to keep his seat as a Conservative. However, there is a lot of debate, which I would definitely agree with, the fact that it's not due to him being a Conservative, it's due to just him being Ben Houchen and his success and his likability as a candidate. Now, of course, there are many of people who say, they're like the Conservatives up there, they've got Brexit done, they're Brexit heartland, but I think it's to just do with the man and not the party, personally. But I think it'll be massive for the Conservatives if Susan Hall does actually win, because obviously they've managed, first time in over a decade that the Tories have run London. So that would be very interesting. It would be very interesting to see. And also, I think Susan Hall has proved herself to be better than Sadiq Khan on a number of levels. But that's what it is, really. In an essence, it is this idea that Sadiq could be voted out, which I think for a lot of Londoners who think he's an absolute plank, will absolutely love. He has thrown a lot of people under the bus. He has destroyed a lot of people's lives. And he has allowed crime to run rampant in London, which is never ever right. Whenever crime is rampant, people getting hurt, and whether it's emotionally hurt, physically hurt, that is what's happening. Especially when it comes to knife crime, it's inexcusable, his lack of control over knife crime in London. And what I just want to add to that is the Mark Rowley the other day went on LBC and said there's going to be more stop and search. That is something that I agree with. As long as it's not racist, I do agree with people being stopped and searched. As long as it's not abjectly racist, there has, and the law does prescribe that you have to have a reasonable grounds to stop and search anybody, and it has to be in a public place. So that is what the official law on stop and search says. It says that there must be reasonable grounds to search that individual, and race or religion or identity does not come under any of those, unless for instance they fit the description of someone who has been reported to carry a knife, and that is different. But you can't just stop someone legally anyway, so that's very important. Now, that will conclude today's local election aftermath show. I have been Oliver Simpson. This has been Brit Vision Media, your fresh face in the media, and we are so happy to listen to your views. We had some views coming in yesterday. We've had some views coming in today. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate it. If you would like to have your comments read out in the next stream, then get in touch. We'll have a conversation about them. We'll have a chat. You can choose the agenda. You can choose, sorry, not the agenda. You can choose our. I suppose it is the agenda really, but what the topics on the agenda? There we go. You can choose the topics on the agenda. That is the amazingness of the new media. So you can get in touch with all these different places. You've got Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. So thank you for being brilliant as usual. We're starting to grow a little bit of an audience. And yeah, it was a very interesting talk about local mayoral elections, and obviously the local council elections too. So all that's left for me to say is a massive thank you for watching. We really do appreciate your support here at BritVision, and yeah, enjoy the rest of your Friday night. About 15-16 minutes before it becomes Saturday. So if I don't see you before Saturday, happy Saturday.